What's up, folks, and welcome to episode 11 of Real Amigos. I am one of your hosts, Chris, and with me, as always, are my two co-hosts, Donnie and Phil. Donnie, we'll go ahead and start with you so you don't interrupt me. How are you doing tonight?
Outstanding.
Yeah, man. How everything
going night. I'm very excited.
I'm excited. I'm excited too. I want to point out, if you're not watching the video version of our podcast, you can go to YouTube and check out the video version. Donnie, he fixed his lighting a little bit. We can actually see his face.
That's what he looks like, people.
Yeah, I mean, he for a long time, he kind of looked like Orko from He-Man. All you could see was like a shadow over his face, but now you can actually see him.
I kind of like that, but whatever.
So that's good.
My wife is actually upset. She's like, I watched your video, and you got to change the lighting. My question to her was, is that the first time you've ever watched the video? Answer, yes, it is.
Yes, it was. That's good. That's good. That other voice you heard was Phil. Phil, what's up, man? How are you?
Doing very well. How is everyone?
Oh, we're good, man. Again, I'm gonna kick back over to the visual. If you're not watching us, you're missing it. Phil has basically turned his little recording area into the Joel McHale show, which I'm totally in for. I love it. He's got a little graphic going on there. He's drinking some kind of Michigan ginger ale, but I don't know what it is.
This week's episode is not brought to you by Burners.
Burners. There you go.
Is Pizza Ghost gonna pop up on your?
It's the original ginger soda.
Oh, Pizza Ghost. All right, so real quick, let's just kind of get stuff out of the way. First off, if you don't know where you are, Real Amigos is a weekly podcast where three guys get together and we talk about movies that we like, and so that's what we do. You can follow us on Facebook. We have a Facebook page where we drop all of our content. You can also join our Facebook group, which we would invite you to do. You can also follow us on Twitter at Real Amigos. You can subscribe to our show at the podcast service of your choice, and we drop an audio podcast every Friday. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, YouTube.com. You can look for Real Amigos, and we put a video version up as well every Friday. That's how you can get the stuff if you want to get the stuff. Okay, now real quick before we jump in here to what I'm super excited about, our topic tonight. Anything going on? Let me start with Donnie, because Donnie told us that he went yesterday and saw Mission Impossible.
Yes, I went and saw Mission: Impossible Fallout.
Very
much
good.
punctuation.
Like the wrong punctuation.
Very good. That's really good for SEO titling, by the way. So
I went to see that in IMAX. The first full-length movie that I've ever seen on the IMAX screen. I went to the biggest IMAX in northeastern Florida.
St. Augustine?
I did. I drove down
nice.
to St. Augustine, about 45 minutes.
Nice.
And I enjoyed it tremendously. I was tempted to, sign up for some kind of membership and do it again. But the movie was good. Good, wasn't as much action as I thought, but it was good. Really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, Tom Cruise is the best. I mean,
he's crazy.
He is also crazy.
I'm not talking about jumping on Oprah's couch crazy. That's a whole different crazy. I'm talking about the man doesn't understand what acting is. Like, dude, you don't have to jump off a mountain.
Yeah.
There are people that will do that for you.
But he's like,
it's okay.
He's like, nah, I'll take care of it. It'll be fine.
I'm gonna not.
So he still does all of his own stunts.
Dude, some insane stuff in this movie, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
So yeah, it was great. It was great. I took my son. We had a good time.
That's cool.
Enjoyed it.
I like to hear it. I love the Mission Impossible movies, but they're not typically theater movies for me. Just because of time and money and stuff.
I've seen all of them in the theater.
Yeah,
I love them.
They're great. I don't disagree with that. So, Phil, what about you, man? You saw anything good recently? Anything you want to talk about? What's on your mind? How we doing?
No, nothing.
Nothing is on your mind. Fantastic. Well, that's good.
I just want to talk about this movie.
Well, we're
actually watched it again.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
That one? Jaws.
So, with that being said, we're not going to waste any more of your time. We are going to jump into the topic at hand tonight. We are talking about one of my favorite movies of all time, and that is a small movie called...
It's a movie called Jaws.
Jaws!
You know the thing about a shark? He's got lifeless eyes. Black eyes, like a doll's eyes. When he comes at you, doesn't seem to be living until he bites you. And those black eyes roll over white, and then... then you hear that terrible high-pitched screaming. The ocean turns red. Despite all the pounding and the hollering, they all come in, they rip you to pieces.
And that movie came out in 1975 when I was a wee lad. Directed by Steven Spielberg. You might know that name.
Heard of that guy.
Starring Roy Scheider, Robert Shaw, and Richard Dreyfuss. Basically, the plot summary is a local sheriff, a marine biologist, and an old seafarer team up to go hunt down a great white shark wreaking havoc in a beach resort. And that is a simple plot, and it is a simple movie, but it is potent, and it's outstanding.
How did the name Amity work its way into multiple movies of the 80s?
Like Amityville Horror?
Yeah, Amityville Horror, you had Amity.
Was that done as a throwback to Jaws?
Well, Amityville was a real thing. Amityville Horror was a true story.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Amity means friendship. Didn't you guys watch the movie?
No, I
Yes.
did. I just didn't know. I didn't know that if there was a throwback. So maybe Jaws was a throwback to the town. So there you go.
Maybe. There you go.
I said this in the message. I watched it again last night. I actually got my wife to watch Jaws with me again last night, and I said this in the message chat. I think that Jaws is a flawless movie. I think it's just about as perfect as can be, and I think
I agree.
I think it holds up tremendously well.
I think 2/3 of us agree with that. I'm not sure about the other 1/3.
I
agree. It's
see.
Tremendous.
So let's kind of jump in. Let's talk about a few things. First off, I'll start with Jaws being rated PG. So this was back in 75. So this was before we got PG-13 ratings, and so it kind of squeaked by. And to be honest, it probably should have been an R. With some of the kind of
Really?
I mean. There's some of it, man. There's some gross stuff.
I don't think there was anything that bad.
There's some dude. The guy's head in the boat at the when he pops out at Dreyfuss. That's pretty rough.
Ben Gardner. No, I don't think that was that bad.
But yeah, it definitely would be PG-13. I saw this movie way too young.
I think it's been re-rated. Common Sense Media says it's rated PG-13.
No, dude, it's PG.
Yeah, it's still technically
officially rated PG.
Yeah.
Maybe they just regard it as such because it is definitely give PG-13 content.
Yeah,
I would agree with that.
But this happened with Back to the Future too, right? So Back to the Future is a PG movie because that was right before PG-13.
No, that was after PG-13.
Okay, but is it still PG?
It is.
Oh.
PG-13 came out in 84, and Back to the Future came out in 85, and it is PG.
Okay, because I remember watching Back to the Future, and that movie has some questionable things in it too. Anyway, I remember watching Jaws when I was way too young to watch it, and I just remember it is one of the most terrifying movies of all time. It just scares me in a haunting way, and I love it. I absolutely love it.
It's fun to be scared like that.
Yeah,
it's not fun when you think there's a demon in the other room of your house. But
no, that's
it's fun to watch a shark terrorize people on a beach.
Yeah, especially now when you're in the middle of Texas. Now, but I mean, we grew up in Florida, right? And so
this is a
ocean
real nightmare.
Yeah.
That I live with every day.
Huh?
Every time I go out my front door in Florida, I think there could be a shark. It's very terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, literally now with Sharknadoes, running rampant. I mean, they literally could fly right through your front door. So you got to be careful.
The Meg. Who knows how far he can jump? I don't know. There's a lot happening with the shark world right now. It's very exciting.
So I will say this: I think that I have a fascination with sharks, and I think it comes from Jaws.
Sure.
I love shark. I was Shark Week was last week. We're specifically doing Jaws tonight because next Friday, a week from today, the Meg comes out, which looks like an amazing shark movie. But I love Deep Blue Sea. I love Sharknado. I love shark movies. And
they're great.
And I think this is where it started. Phil,
have you seen The Reef? Have you seen The Reef? That's a good shark movie.
The Reef.
Shallows?
I have seen The Shallows, yes.
That's
I don't know that
pretty
I've seen The Reef. Yeah, The Shallows was good. Yeah. I don't
Open Water, you seen that one?
Yes, I actually liked Open Water.
Is that the one with the couple?
It was okay. Yeah, the couple in the
Yeah, that's
little sharks.
I like open water because it's a little bit of the Jaws thing where they never really show the shark. I think you see a fin at some point, but it's just kind of the terror of literally all of that space under you, and you can't see it. I mean, that's what's terrifying about the ocean. It's like there is more space under the ocean than there is on land, and you can't see any of it.
No, it's just terrifying.
It's terrifying.
Agree.
It's
Have
terrifying.
you seen the YouTube video where the guy goes around with the spoon? Did we talk about this?
No, I don't think
He's
so.
He's like, I learned this from my pa here. You know, this is how you can test and see if water has sharks in it. You walk out to the water, you take a spoon with you, you scoop up some water, and you put it in your mouth. And if it tastes like salt, there's sharks nearby.
Yeah,
That's great.
Exactly.
No, I haven't
And
seen
it's
that.
like
That's
in
hilarious.
the ocean
Yes.
is the jungle. Like you would never run around in the jungle in nothing but your underwear.
No, of
Nope,
course not.
you would not.
But you get in the ocean,
You
you're like,
go for
man,
a swim.
and it's a jungle.
Why are we so dumb? I don't understand why we're
Everything
so
in the ocean wants to kill everything else.
By the way, that's actually this is a good time to plug our brand new podcast. Why are we so dumb? Where we actually look into why we're so stupid creatures. Phil, let's jump
That's
over
called
to you.
the Darwin Awards.
You have that is what
Yeah.
absolutely. Let's talk to you, Phil. Phil, you hadn't said much, man. What are your give me your? Let's start with just your first impression of Jaws when you saw it. What you thought? What's up?
I like the movie. I'm not.
Yeah.
I think I thought it was. I thought there was. I thought it was scarier than I thought it was going to be. Like it was. I thought it was scarier when I was a kid. Obviously, like now I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, but see, you watch a lot of
Great.
those demon in the next room kind of movies. So,
Right.
yeah,
I wouldn't call it a horror movie. Here's why I wouldn't call it a horror movie.
I wouldn't either.
I wouldn't call it a horror movie. I think it's terrifying.
I think it's a
but I wouldn't call
thriller.
it a horror movie. Thriller's good. Yeah,
But it's not a horror movie because it's not like it's something you can escape. These guys aren't. They're not. Think about it this way: they're not trapped. Like it's not like one of these movies where you're like running for your life. They went out there to hunt this thing,
sure.
But they became trapped. I mean,
but
at a
not
certain
for very
point.
long. That's the other thing I have. That's my
enough.
complaint about this movie. Is
Okay.
the space of time in the movie where the main character is being terrorized by the shark isn't really that long.
No.
It's not.
Yeah.
But I do know at 19 minutes in, because I looked, there's 2 dead people in this movie already.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I gotta
it gets going pretty quick on the dead
By the
people
way,
movie.
this is for Steven Spielberg.
He's the man.
Dude, he
killed
he's
a kid.
master. He's a man.
kid.
Yeah, he killed a kid, man.
He let that shark
And-
eat a kid.
And something else we'll talk about in a minute. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to. I don't even know where to start. I agree. Let's just start with the horror element. I agree that it's not a horror movie. I wouldn't call it a horror movie. I do think that it is terrifying, and I mean that it sincerely. Like I have a problem playing video games with water in them. Like, I play a game right now currently called Sea of Thieves, and it's basically just a pirate game, and there are sharks everywhere, including a megalodon, which is like a boss encounter. And if I fall in the water, I fall off the boat or something, or I'm too far from the boat and I'm having to swim just in open water, my hands literally start sweating. In a cartoon 3D
this show should
video
not be
game.
about movies. This show should be about all of the phobias that movies have created in Chris's life.
Chris we're finding out the psychology, the psyche of Chris on this show for sure.
I don't think I want to know.
I will say just as an aside, I've also become a shoe person. Like I don't like to not have shoes on. Is that like I get up in the morning. My routine in the morning is to brush my teeth.
Oh my goodness.
And I put on shoes before I ever go get coffee, or I don't like to be barefoot.
Is it just shoes?
No, I put
Like
socks
you
on.
in
brush
your house.
No.
Then put shoes on,
In
but
your
nothing
house.
else?
No, I have clothes. I mean, I put.
Oh, okay.
I
So
put
you
clothes
are
on.
clothed.
Yeah. So I'm clothed.
Okay. Well,
but
that
I don't
changes
like to be barefoot at any given time. I'm wearing
the
shoes
last
right now.
thing I do before I walk out is put shoes on.
Oh, man,
I
not me.
hate shoes. I hate having them on.
Not me.
Dude, you need to see somebody because I'm worried about you, man.
Problems.
This podcast has definitely, Philip, you're right, taken some crazy turns, man.
There's a constant
dark
theme
turns.
where Chris says something like, "I am now afraid of this."
Yeah. Or this gives me the
Here's a problem I have with this movie. People touched.
This
They
guy
ate
looked
food.
at this other guy. It was creepy and weird.
They had too much close up on his eyeball, and I could see the viscous fluid.
There was a dad in this movie that talked to his son. It was so creepy. I couldn't even. I was shivering. I just couldn't take it.
Oh, you can all bite me. Okay, so
Like Jaws.
see, look at there, full
Bite
circle.
radius.
Full circle.
So I want to talk. You know, I guess I don't want to get too deep yet, but I do want to talk
Again,
about.
a Jaws reference. Very good.
I want to talk about Quint and so
Quint.
T on
for
the end.
Quint, yeah, Quint. My issue is I don't
we
know
go.
that I had thought about this. No, this is good, but
Okay.
I want your guys' interpretation. I don't know if I had really thought about this beforehand. You know, having watched it before, but watching it again back, I don't know that I understand exactly what his motivation is. So
$10,000.
okay, yeah, but then
Money.
when they get out on the water, you know, he at one point takes a bat and hammers this
Did
CD.
not understand that.
I did.
Well, so that's what I'm asking. So talk to me, Donnie. Why would he do that?
Because this is the first time he's ever been challenged like that.
Okay.
And in his mind, it's machismo.
So it's Ahab.
I'm taking you on, bro. And
It's
I
Ahab.
don't want you calling the Coast Guard. This is me against this stinking shark.
Okay, so that was where I was leaning, and so that's kind of what I wanted to get to.
Oh, I definitely think that.
So it's the ego trip at that point. So
It
it's
is, at that point, well, it was pretty ego-driven before, but at that point, I don't think he cares about the money at all. I think it's just like, dude, this shark is after me, and I'm going to show him who's boss.
Do you think that it is in response, almost as a revenge for the Indianapolis?
I think that's what
Yeah.
bore it originally. Yeah.
That's
I-
the whole thing. That's why there's all those teeth in his thing. I think he's
Right.
purging he thinks he's on a mission to get rid of all the sharks.
Okay, so he's kind of like, I need to murder these sharks, and then this is like, you know, the Godfather, Monday, Tuesday, Shark Day.
Stop it.
This is
Tom
like
Hanks.
The movie.
this is like
That's one of my favorite Tom Hanks lines ever.
I know.
Watch The Godfather, for crying out loud. Maybe he's trying to kill one shark for each person that died on the Indianapolis.
It
And
could be
figures if he gets
lot.
Jaws, maybe that counts for like
5 or
10
6.
or 20 guys, you know? It's like, I gotta get that one.
I mean that's kind of what I got at too. I felt like it was yeah that was what I was thinking.
It's
like
man
this
against
is the
beast,
first
bro.
shark that is ever, you know, that it's almost like the unattainable, right? And it's like I can't let the shark best me, so I'm gonna show him who's boss.
This is
It's a prize.
this is doggone, what's the kid's name?
Benny.
Benny versus the beast, man. It's like man versus animal. It's like,
Yeah,
it's on. Let's
yeah.
do it.
Yeah. Okay.
It's Ahab and
Ahab and Moby Dick.
Moby Dick.
Moby
Yeah,
Dick.
man. Okay.
going after.
All right. Well, again, I just wanted to kind of clarify, because it struck me as odd when I was watching it and he smashed the CB, and I was like, I don't remember that
He
sticking
wants
out so
no
much.
help.
Yeah, he wants
He
no
wants
help.
no help, man.
Yeah.
He doesn't even want Brody and
No, he
what's
doesn't
his
want those
face
guys. Yeah.
on the boat.
No.
What is his face?
Cinematography was amazing.
Hooper.
Cinematography
Yes.
was great. The two things specifically that I love the scene when the orca's going out of the harbor and you see it in the jaws of the shark. Like, I
Yes.
mean, that is such
Amazing.
a perfect shot. And
Yeah.
then I love the scene where they're right after they do the Indianapolis story and they're singing in the bottom of the boat, and then it cuts wide outside of the boat to just the barrel swimming by. Oh my gosh. I freaking
Did I
love
just
it.
hear the Jaws theme?
That was genius, by the way. That was a genius move. The
Did
barrel.
I seriously
No,
just hear that?
we
Did one
didn't
of you
play it.
that?
No, that's all you,
That was
man.
weird.
That's all you.
Okay.
It was a genius move because it was a way to see the shark kind of tracking around and moving around them without without showing it from the shark's
Oh,
perspective.
sure.
Well, that mouth shot with the boat is foreshadowing them.
Yeah,
with the shark.
There's
getting
a lot
eaten
of
by a shark.
foreshadowing in this.
That
movie.
a lot of-
that boat literally getting eaten by a shark.
Yes. The
Spielberg does that. Actually, I made a note. I wanted to comment on that. That happens quite a bit in this. Really, they tease the ending the whole movie.
Yeah.
So if you look in the book, you got the shark with the compressed air tank in its mouth.
Yeah.
You get that scene of Dreyfus. He's like, "Careful, this thing
It's
could
gonna explode.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there was another one.
He's biting into the bottom of the boat in one picture.
Yeah.
And that's when the mom goes, "Kids, you heard your dad. Get out of the water."
That's
Saw them.
hilarious. No, they Phil, at one point when Jaws circles them around and they all kind of fall over, the canisters kind of move and Brody goes back and straightens them up. Yeah,
There's that, but then there was when he left it laying on the table. The camera
that's right.
lingers on the tank.
Yeah.
There's
Brody has
There's
one.
a phrase for that. There in filmmaking and I think literature. Oh man, I want to say it's Occam's razor, but it's basically like anytime you see an object in a movie that the camera focuses on early on, it's going to come
Like,
back later in the movie.
That was like a.
It may be totally something different. I'm probably saying the wrong thing. But there's a phrase for it.
Yeah, but
Like,
but
this is
they,
important.
But the
They
tanks,
do it really
the
smart,
tanks
though.
definitely is that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I just think it's smart storytelling because a lot of times you get that. Like, you get that beat over your head. You know, like early in a movie, somebody will go to a library and they're like, if you ever run into a werewolf, you have to make sure you have silver bullets. And then, of course, the finale is them running into a werewolf. It's like, yeah, of course, you already beat me over the head with that. But, like, this, I felt like the Jaws was 100% that. But I also felt like it was very subtle. And I think that, you know, watching it like for the first time, I don't think I think it does its job. I think that you understand that that's how he wins at the end, but I don't think that you know, like we do now. As soon as you see him pick up that, you know, that canister, you're like, oh, of course, you know, this is what's going to do it. But I thought it was good, man. It's just,
if you remember,
it's not Occam's razor. That's something different. But there's a phrase for it.
Quint also mentions, he says, what are we going to do with those? Maybe the shark will eat them.
Yeah,
that's right.
that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
And,
yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah.
It was really cool. I wanted to say a couple of things. Number one, the opening, I was watching it. I almost watched Jaws 2 by accident first.
Also a good movie.
I just clicked on it.
Jaws 2's pretty good.
I'm going to tell you
so
right now, real quick, before you say your point, Phil, I like all 4 movies.
You're crazy.
I like all 4
Jaws
movies.
3, Jaws 3 is on like the worst.
It's in
movie ever
SeaWorld.
list.
It's the best, man. When
And
they're in the
Jaws: The
tank or
Revenge is
SeaWorld,
worse
Jaws of
than
Revenge
that.
has Michael Caine in it, so you're wrong.
Is
All right,
that
Phil, go.
the same lady, the actress in Jaws
Same
4?
lady,
is
yes.
Lorraine.
Gary. Yes. She's in 3 of them. She's not in part 3.
Oh.
She is in part 4.
Was Louis Gossett Jr. in part 3?
Yes, he was.
Yeah, he was.
With
He like
Dennis
ran
Quaid.
the part.
Dennis
Yeah,
Quaid.
Dennis Quaid.
What I was going to say was because I started watching 2, and I was like, this isn't right when the Jaws 2 theme came up.
Always a dead giveaway.
I was also
Yes.
surprised because I thought it would start with that dun, and it doesn't. Jaws 2 starts with a different music. And then I was like, oh, I'm watching the wrong one. So I went back to watch Jaws 2, and there it was. That's the music.
Uh-huh.
And the opening is just really chilling. Like,
Jaws
I
2.
thought you would see a dead person.
Uh-huh.
Well,
like
you
just
see,
a
it's the
disembodied-
divers, right? Part 2 opens with the
Yes.
2 divers. That's pretty
Yeah.
scary too.
Yeah.
Do they
Let
get
me
eaten?
ask you. They both get chowed down, dude.
Yeah.
They take a
From the
picture of
get-go?
the shark.
Oh.
Yeah, right at the beginning. They're actually at the orca. They're looking at the orca in under the water, and they take a picture of the shark, and that's the premise for the rest of the movie.
I don't think
One
I
of them
realized that.
photographs-
I
One of them
didn't thi- I don't-
photographs it, and they only get like a portion of it, and Brody gets a hold of it, and it's an eyeball, and he's like, "See, it's a shark, it's a shark." And it's the same premise. They're like, it's not a shark, it's not a shark. They run
Bush
open the
Schneider in
beaches.
it?
Yeah,
He dies
it's a
in
good
it, doesn't
movie.
he?
No. Dude,
This isn't a spoiler cast, dude.
Jaws 2 ends with the wire, man.
He zaps him. Why are we talking about Jaws 2? Let's talk about Jaws.
All right, Phil, go ahead.
Philip brought up the opening, though.
Okay.
The opening of Jaws, are there any rival openings to Jaws? Is there anything better? The opening scenes than Jaws? With Chrissy Watkins swimming in the water.
It was chilling. Was the word I wrote. Chilling.
It is chilling.
Yeah.
I mean, I jotted some thoughts. Star Wars is pretty great.
Yeah, with the Rebel frigate.
When the blockade runner comes over.
Yeah.
And old Darth Vader entering the ship. Raiders, when he's walking into the Chechuan, whatever.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And that whole scene, running from the boulder and all that's pretty great. The Dark Knight, the opening in the bank with the robbers offing each other. You don't like that? You really don't like the Dark Knight?
Not really. No.
Okay, whatever, man. How about Scream, if you like horror movies?
I never saw Scream.
Drew Barrymore on the phone.
Scream. The Scream opening was the reinvention, the return to good horror movies.
Yeah.
Scream was a quality horror movie.
It was good. All right, Chris. Here's one for you.
Okay. Oh my gosh! That is.
The opening montage of Up is
awful. It's awful.
Pretty amazing.
It's amazing, and it kills me every time.
Yeah. Okay. There's some good ones, but I'm not sure there's any as good as Jaws.
Yeah, Jaws is great, man. It's a great opening.
Yeah. I have a conspiracy theory though.
About
Can I share
Jaws?
it right now? Oh heck yeah!
Yeah,
Jaws
hear it.
I believe that Chrissy Watkins, who's the girl, I think that she wanted to drown that drunk dude. If you look at her at the fire at the beginning,
she's psycho.
She looks deranged, bro. She does.
I didn't understand that whole courtship scene.
I've
never
weird.
looked at a girl across a fire, and she shut up and ran off, and I thought, I'll chase her.
She's a temptress. I'm telling you. She knows he's drunk. She looks deranged. She goes right into the water. She's trying to get him out in the water and drown the dude. She got what she deserved.
Okay, so listen.
That's my take.
So if I'm hearing what you're saying correctly, Jaws is actually a good guy. He's basically a superhero.
He's a vigilante.
Yeah.
He's a vigilante.
That kid was disobedient to his mom or something.
Yeah,
and
sure.
Jaws was like, I'm not having this.
Yeah, his mom said
There's
don't go too
something-
far
yeah.
out, and he did, idiot. And that's
Something
yeah,
And
Yeah,
he
yeah,
got
I
gobbled
agree.
up and shot out of a water cannon.
yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
exactly.
Did you see that? You watch that scene? How many times you watched that scene?
Dude, I've watched that scene a bunch.
Kid goes shooting out of the water like he gets shot out of a water cannon.
crazy. When he rolls, like the fins roll underneath it as he attacks it, and then they cut to the blood shooting up.
It was just like,
I could never figure out quite what it is, but it's pretty insane.
That's pretty gross. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
don't
that
think
old guy
that's
goes,
how
"What
you
was
would.
that?"
I don't think that would happen if you got attacked by a shark. I don't understand the geyser of water and the
Yeah, that's a
child
lot of blood.
shooting out of it.
Yeah, I think they just have to kind of.
I think he's lifting him up. He's biting him, and he's going up and down. That's what happened
Watch
to
it
Chris.
back. He's like, whoa.
That's what. But he's a kid, and I don't know.
Yeah. Now the scene right after that.
After Chrissy
No,
or the kid?
not that scene. The scene later when they open the beach and they have the kids with the fake fin.
Yes.
I love the scene once that's done when the shark's coming into the pond.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I just love that long stretch of just like the fins. Like I mean,
Just from the
that's
side,
so
yeah, that
scary,
shot
man.
just from the side.
Oh, so good.
The fin, yeah, and that girl goes, sure,
I know.
sure. Like,
So explain
you need to
to
yell
me-
a little bit louder.
Do we ever get any resolution on the guy that got his leg bit off?
We don't even know who he is. He doesn't even have a
Just
name.
rolls up in a tiny little dinghy boat.
He's a dinghy.
Hey
Why
guys,
are you in that little
you
boat?
gotta pull the sheet. Oh, my leg is gone.
He's like, he's mental or something. He seemed kind of.
I was frustrated with that. I thought we'd get some kind of.
The resolution of that, Phil, is he's dead. You don't think he's alive with no leg, right?
I don't know.
You don't think he's walking around with a peg leg, do you?
Wait a minute. Are we to understand then? I'm just realizing this.
Okay,
Are we to understand that the leg part is all that's left?
Yeah, he munched him.
Yeah.
He bit off his leg, but he
God,
ate the
man.
I
rest
thought
of
he
him.
bit it off.
No.
He
ate
ate the
Joker.
guy. Yeah.
Oh, and left the leg behind.
Left the leg behind. Got a little leg there
Yeah.
for you.
Oh,
He was very hungry.
brutal. Well, that would explain that kid's shock.
By the way, only crazy people swim in the ocean at night. I'm just going to put that out
Oh,
there.
bro.
I don't think it was nighttime.
No, I'm talking about with Chrissy.
Yeah, the
I
beginning.
don't think it was nighttime. If you look at the
was
scene where they're showing her
Pretty
out
damn
there
dark.
floating, there's a sun in the
It's-
distance. It's
I
like
know,
that's
but
a
it goes
morning.
back and
I think that's
it
a
goes
moon, bro.
back and forth, but I think it was dark enough.
They had a fire out. You don't put a fire out in the daytime. So
it was a clam bake.
Is there a bigger?
I'm not even joking. There was a clam pot.
It was a clam. Yeah.
Christy was manning
No,
the
that's-
clam pot.
sure,
Yeah.
but it was still. Come on.
She had poisoned it. She was trying to kill everybody. Is there a bigger scuzzball in movie history than the mayor?
Oh man,
of
that
Jaws?
guy. What a goober.
I disagree.
What a goober.
Okay.
You
Why
mean in
do you
all of
disagree?
history?
The mayor's doing what mayors do. He's advocating for a struggling town,
Sure.
and he's like, we have little evidence. Not to mention,
Little evidence. Is that a play on words? Because there was so little bits of Chrissy left? Yeah, there
But
was little
one-
evidence because she got chowed down.
one shark death does not constitute shutting down an entire beach.
Oh no, it was clearly she was hit by a boat though. I mean,
Clearly.
the doctor confirmed that.
Are you willing to sign off on that? Yeah, I'm willing to sign off on that.
Sure, whatever. I think he's awful. I think he's terrible.
I think he gets you get a very humanizing moment with him in the hospital.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
way too late.
That's true. But
3 people have died at that point.
Sure.
3. Count them. 3.
I would agree. I would think after that kid got water cannoned out of the water, out of the
His
blood
name is
water.
Alec Kendrick, by the way. Alex Kendrick. Isn't it?
I don't
That's
know.
his real
Yes,
name?
Alex.
I
It's
didn't look
Alex.
up. I didn't look up their names.
But anyway, when that kid got water cannoned, I probably would have shut the beach down at that point.
But he didn't.
Yeah, but he didn't. But
he
he
did not.
didn't.
By the way, go ahead, Chris.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't care about the mayor. What parent in their right mind puts a kid in the water like that? Like, hey, afterward. Like, hey, Andrew got shot out of a shark cannon. I'm going to go put my kid in there too.
They caught the
uh,
shark. They caught the shark.
Right, they supposed to call it shark.
The tiger shark.
So
The bite radius was
when
off.
when the guy's throwing his the stick to the dog, Pippet.
Yeah, the dog
calls him.
die.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah,
The
that dog
dies.
is gone, bro.
Yeah, he's,
So he ate the
he's
dog
toast.
and the kid?
Yeah, dude.
There's a website.
This shark is hungry.
It's Jaws, man.
There is a website called Does the Dog Die? Yeah, there is. I looked it up, and it was unanimous yes that the dog dies in Jaws. So
That's funny.
there is that. But if you notice, I know I nitpick, but if you notice the guy throwing the stick in the water, and then they cut to a scene where the dog's swimming back and he's in the water, and some dude like kind of embraces the dog in the water, but it's not the dude throwing the stick. It's 2 different people. It's really weird.
I wanted to go back. There was a scene during all of that where it seemed rather evident that the shark was there. Not the kids with the fin, but there was like there was something in the background. Like, is that what I just saw? Did I just see that? And it might have been this. It might have been where the dog died.
Yeah.
I
They
know
just
what you're
kinda
talking
briefly-
about. There was like something that looks like it's floating in the water, kind of
Yeah.
that behind, out there.
Yeah.
I think I saw that too.
Okay,
but,
and let me also say to the kids that put the fin on and swam around, awesome,
Yeah, those
I know,
guys are
those
genius. That's a good prank.
awesome. When that kid comes out of the water, he's like, he made me do it.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
awesome.
Those
man.
kids would go to prison.
Oh
today.
yeah. Oh, they'd be waterboarded.
And in that movie, they're like, it's just some kids. It's just some kids screwing around.
don't even worry about it.
Keep your eyes open. There might be a shark out there, but this was just some kids. We're gonna take them home now.
So every time I watch this, because it is a long movie, and that's not a complaint. I do not think it drags.
It's 2 hours long.
I think-
Doesn't feel like 2 hours.
is that
Longer?
You saying longer or shorter? Oh, shorter.
I think it's
It
just
was right.
shorter
It was
to me.
the right time.
Yeah, no,
It didn't feel-
I think it's good. But I will say this: every single time, and I did it this time when I watched it again too. I forget about the shark cage because like
Me
they
too.
do so much,
I had
and
forgotten
that's
about
like the very last thing that they do, and I
Right.
always forget about it, and then we get there and they're like, let's put the shark cage. I'm like, oh, frick, I forgot freaking shark cage. That's right.
Yeah.
And dude, that shark cage scene, I would have just given up the ghost. I would have just died. Like I would be dead. Like I would.
the point?
I would just been, you know the goats. You know the goats that just go legs up whenever they get scared. That's exactly what I'd just be like, and I would just like be eaten.
I don't understand the point of a shark
You have
cage.
shoes on your feet.
I don't
I would-
understand
yeah.
a shark cage if the shark
is-
can just break in.
Well,
He's not a normal
It's
shark.
Jaws,
He's
man.
a
It's
25-foot shark.
Okay, but I have a problem with the physics of it. And if there are any marine biologists out there, please weigh in.
Yeah, all
I have
the,
a problem
all,
with the
all the
physics
marine
of it.
biologists that listen to our show, please
let
tell
me
us.
pipe in on that. I've studied this movie for a long time. If you notice in the credits, it says additional shark footage is shot by this couple, a man and a wife.
Yes,
they
I
went
saw
to they went to Australia and they took shark footage of great white sharks. That's part of it. When that shark attacks the cage, part of that footage. And yes, the size of it is not, accurate. But that is a regular great white shark tearing that thing up. It's like
That's real?
It's real.
Yeah.
I don't know all the dynamics of what it was made of, but that's a real shark tearing that thing apart.
I think you can tell it's real. Yeah.
There's several shots of real great whites in the movie from that.
I just was kind of like, I can't. It's fine. I'll buy it.
No, it's true. I've read about
But
it.
here's my
And
problem
also,
with Richard
Hooper
Dreyfuss'
dies in the
character.
book. Hooper, he dies in the book, by the way. He gets eaten in the cage.
Oh, does he?
Oh, does
Yeah. Right. Yes.
he? Okay. Was Dreyfuss a star at this point?
Not really. He'd only been in like 1 or 2 movies.
Yeah.
Okay. So a couple things about
Thought he was
Richard
great.
Dreyfuss in this movie.
I thought it was great.
First of all, I think Richard Dreyfuss just is Richard Dreyfuss. He's like the
so
Nick
good.
Cage. He's not
Yeah.
a freak, but he's just playing himself.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like he
he's
could just as easily has been Hooper as Mr. Holland. Like, he's the same guy.
He's anal retentive guy in every movie.
Always.
And he's perfect for this movie.
And he
yes.
was the same. It was almost like Hooper, what about Bob? Is just Hooper grown up, taking his kids on vacation.
Yeah. He's snarky and he's smarter than everybody else.
Than everybody in the room.
Always.
Yeah.
But a couple of things about his character. Number one, I didn't understand how he just I've never seen anybody show up in the world as if, and like he just knows everybody, or just seems to. He's bossing the guys around on the boat.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
walking into Roy Scheider's house. He's this, and this. So I had this sense at one point that, like, because I hadn't remembered the movie. I hadn't seen Jaws in a long time. I had this sense that we were going to figure out that Quint was right about him, that he was kind of a fraud.
Yeah.
And I think that might have been who am I to remake a Steven Spielberg movie? But I think that might have been a more interesting plot point. If Dreyfuss's fraudulent character had caused Quint's death with his negligence, or had been, you know what I mean? It might have been more like.
I mean, so I definitely don't think he caused the death, but I kind of do think that we find him to be a fraud in a little bit. Like it starts to waver a little bit when they're out on the boat, and then that you have that whole scene where Quint catches the shark, and Dreyfuss is like, it's not a shark, and he's like so sure that it's not a shark, and then of course it turns out to be. So I think that they do break him down a little bit to where it's almost like he kind of rich family, good education,
Right.
kind of just rolled into the job position that he had, and he's never actually maybe even done anything super serious. So I do think that they play with that a little bit. However, I do agree with you on his entrance. I actually for a minute I rewound because I was like, oh crap, I missed when he came on. Because he literally just shows up at the dock and starts talking to people. I'm like, oh, I missed when he got off the bus.
Yeah,
or
he just comes in giving orders, man.
Yeah. So that was good. I thought it was
perfect.
great.
He's perfect in the role, no doubt. He gets Dreyfuss bugs me sometimes, but in Jaws he's perfect. He's absolutely perfect.
He's good.
But he's got no hands.
No what?
He's like little
No
hands.
hands. He has the shark tooth and the knife drops it.
Oh, I know. What a good.
He's got this spear with the stuff that could kill the shark.
drops that.
Drops it.
Big old.
Yeah,
loser.
he
Then he punks out. He's like, oh, the shark ate the cage. I'm just going to hide down here while my friends die. And then
Where was he
show up
supposed to
when all
go
the
up?
action is over.
Would you go up and try to get back in the boat at that point? No way.
I don't know.
I wouldn't.
I would
Yeah.
at least, while I was watching the shark eat my friend, maybe I make a play for the spear. I don't know.
He doesn't know where the spear went. He looks around. He's like, "Oh crud! It's gone. It went to the bottom."
He's
He didn't know.
a terrible person.
Let me just say that's some bad hat, Harry.
the
No,
Quint's
that's
hat?
what. No, that's what Brody says to that old guy on the beach. Remember the
Oh,
guy
well,
says
yeah,
something
that he
about,
comes up swimming. Yeah.
Yeah, he says
yeah.
he insults him somehow. He says something about Brody that's negative. Oh, you don't go in the water, do you, or something like that? And he
Yeah.
goes, "That's some bad hat, Harry."
Some bad hat.
Okay,
And,
so
then,
you're
and
shifting-
the old man is like genuinely offended that he says it. If you watch
Yeah,
the old man's
yeah.
face, he's like, "Dang you little whippersnapper, you got me."
All right, so let's talk about the sheriff.
All right,
Let's do
Brody.
it.
Brody. First off, his
Brody.
He's a
Bronco,
punk.
is awesome.
He's a what?
He's a punk.
What?
Why is he a punk?
He comes off like Roy Scheider comes off like a total wussified wimp in this movie.
He is a wimp as far as the water. Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's terrified.
Do we
I
find
didn't
out
think-
why?
I thought he was like a man's man, and he shows up, and Quint is like, "I see you got your rubbers." And he showed up in his boots and his slicker, and we're gonna need a
rides
bigger,
in
we're
he
gonna need a
rides
bigger
in-
boat, and he's complaining because he's got to chum the water, like just the whole.
Hang
He's
on.
more of a punk than I realized.
Hang on, real quick. Do we get his backstory? Do we know why he left
Yeah.
New York?
We don't know why. In the book, I think they tell you, but he left because it was New York and it was too hectic and crazy and
Well,
crime
yeah,
ridden.
and he says that. So
yeah.
then,
Yeah.
why is he afraid of the water?
They say in the movie, the wife's talking about it, she says, "Oh, you got a condition or something." He says, "Yeah, it's called drowning." That's what he says.
Yeah,
He
that's
doesn't
what he
like
said.
the water.
I feel like
He
okay.
rides
So
in the
hang
car
on.
on the
So
ferry
hang
to the
on.
mainland.
Hang on. So when they're doing the scar scene, he looks at like his stomach at a scar, and he almost jumps in,
Yeah.
but he doesn't.
I know what you're thinking, gunshot, right?
I'm thinking something, but we don't ever find out though, right?
No, he doesn't mention it. And
Okay.
you know what? It may be in the book. I don't remember the book that well. That could be
He
it.
does. He does have a nice line in that scene though, when Richard Dreyfuss opens up his shirt. You hear what he says in the background?
Dude, I wrote that down. Go ahead and
You're
say
wearing
it.
you're wearing a sweater.
Yeah, he goes, "Guess what this is?" He's
Guess
wearing a
what
sweater.
You're wearing a sweater.
So much hair. There's hair in the water.
I love it.
I do think though, when he's chumming that water and he has his back to the water and the shark rears its ugly head, it's classic.
so
classic.
good.
It's one of the great scenes ever.
Great reveal.
They're gonna need a bigger boat. I love it. I love everything.
I
about
love Brody
It's
though.
so
I think Roy Scheider's like one of those underrated actors, man. He did a lot of good stuff.
I agree. I thought he was great.
But I thought he was really great.
Was he in
Jaws.
Blue Thunder?
Blue Thunder? Yeah,
I don't know.
he
He
did some
plays a
good.
cop, doesn't he?
I just know him from
He
Jaws.
tends to play a lot of cops. Yeah, he was in The French Connection, and he was in a lot of stuff. Jazz. Yeah, he was in a lot of stuff.
Okay, wait. I want to talk about Shaw. Robert Shaw plays Quint.
Quint.
The
greatest
opening
accent.
scene with Quint, where he rakes his fingers on the chalkboard.
Oh man.
Like, I don't know that they're like that is a John Wayne-esque opening scene if I've ever seen one. Like he's
I don't
just
think there's a better character intro scene.
I mean,
ever.
he's eating crackers, talking about sharks. He is cool as a cucumber, and
yeah.
he's like, "You guys ain't gonna do this unless you call me. This is what it's gonna cost. Give me a call whenever you're ready." And I love that scene. So great.
It's a great scene.
And
I had
he
remembered
shuts the
that-
room down. Like everybody shuts up and listens.
Well, when you scrape your fingers down the chalkboard, it does tend to do that. And
I
he
had
really,
remembered that
yeah.
scene being. I didn't remember how that scene went. I thought I bet it's been. Man, it might have been 20 years since I saw Jaws last.
Man.
I thought that was a room full of other fishermen that had responded to like the
Oh,
call
yeah.
out,
Right.
and that he was just. I didn't realize I guess I didn't realize he was an Amity resident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought that he was just sort of like showed up out of nowhere.
Yeah, I would like to have seen a little more.
I also would like to know who drew that shark on the chalkboard.
It had to have been him, right?
I was
Who
him.
took the time?
It had to have been him.
I don't think it's there early. I think he draws it on there.
Everybody's talking and he's drawing. He's like, I gotta hurry up. I'm gonna miss my moment.
Here comes my window. Here comes my nail scraping window. I gotta hurry.
So I will say the only thing about Quint as far as that goes is if he is a resident, you kind of feel like you miss the exposition of him being a crazy hermit. Like, it's like you almost want a scene where he's walking by and two young people are on the other side of the street and they're like, don't look him in the eyes.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll tell you what.
He shaves mermaids at night or something.
What would have been awesome is if you got a shot of like, I don't know, man, like if he was in the background when they found the girl's body, or if you saw the orca going by into the night as she was being eaten.
He just a little
something
more suspicious.
kind of like, he's a little
out there.
Something weird here.
Yeah.
He knows something.
Yeah, but still,
creepy.
I don't think that it was wrong, but it would have been.
And then the great reveal
is
you find out he's Aquaman and he's telling the sharks to kill everyone.
Perfect.
That would be a great thing.
Perfect.
Quint's fantastic. My favorite scene
Great.
still to this day is the Indianapolis scene. I love the comparing of the scars and the sweater, and I love
Brings them all together.
I know.
They all
so good.
Even Hooper and him.
I love it.
They're war buddies now.
They sing "Show Me the Way to Go Home," and then it ends with that scene of the shark just circling them. And it's just
okay. I have a question about that too. And
I thought that was the scene where the shark starts attacking them.
That scene is absolutely
he does eventually.
classic.
Yeah. He does start hitting the bottom of the boat. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I want to talk about though, real quick. Is he starts hitting the boat? The boat starts kind of rocking, and water starts coming through. But he does it all around different places in the boat. How does a shark do that? Like he hits here, and then he immediately hits right here. I don't know. I guess if you have that big old powerful tail, you can do that. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I mean,
I think weird. I think the shark just instructed the special effects guys which areas of the boat he wanted them to shake.
Yeah, that may be.
there obviously had to have been some leaps in logic, and I mean you could argue that he was basically the size of the orca, and so he could have been hitting with his nose on one side and then smacking with his tail on the other. Like, I mean, you could make that argument, but I think probably it's just
I'm not complaining. I just noticed it.
It is.
There's a couple other things I noticed that I want to point out too. Can I take a second to do that?
Let's hear it.
Okay. Number one, the two guys that are fishing at night with the roast.
Oh my gosh, so good.
Okay. It's a great scene. But Charlie is the guy on the dock when it gets pulled off, right?
Yeah.
Why in the world does Charlie just ride that thing on out until he floats off? It's like, dude, get off the dock now.
Yeah, like the first thing I'm doing is rolling
back to shore.
I was like,
he just rides it. He's like, it's like, no. You jump off of that and you go quickly to shore.
Yeah, that's a stop, drop, and roll. Stop, drop, and roll right there. Roll off the back of that thing and get the Pam out of the water. I
also had an issue with, remember all the people show up and nobody's going in the water, right?
Right.
And the mayor goes over to one guy and he says, hey man, people aren't getting in the water.
Yeah.
Like, you need to get in the water.
Yeah.
So him and his wife, or whatever, they had maybe their grandkids, they got 3 kids. And they put them on a raft, okay?
Yeah.
When you see them in the water, when they're the only ones in the water, they're at neck-deep water.
You got it, dude. You're gonna
go. Why are you going that far out? You're terrified. You know there's a shark out there, but you're going. I mean, go knee deep. Hey, that's fine. Let's do that. Waist deep. Yeah, they are wading like they're going to China. They're just going.
First of all,
out there.
Go bigger. Go
You and I,
man.
we all grew up close enough to the beach to know you never have to go that deep to have fun at the ocean.
No, it's like
man.
knee deep. That's all you got to do.
I mean, I have.
Sure.
And that's the same thing.
But
with,
you know,
like,
when you're that deep, you're like, I'm gonna die today.
fair
You
game.
think that? that.
You do think that.
You do think that.
Yes.
Especially when you
Anytime
look
I'm out
around.
past my
Especially when you
nipples-
look around and you realize that you've drifted past where all your people are and there's nobody around you. You literally think like, this is it. Like, I might as well just dunk my head under. I'm
You know
never
what
coming
you
back.
think? You know what you think, Chris? You think I'm the kid in Jaws. That's what you think. I'm the kid in Jaws today that's gonna die.
Yeah. Anytime I'm out past my belly button, I think they're here.
Yep, it's gonna
It's just
happen.
a matter of how hungry they are.
Do they want me or not? But that also goes to the other thing here is when they show the underwater scenes when everybody gets in the water. I mean, they're filming from like 20 feet down, and people are like kicking up. I mean, it's like nobody goes out that far. Nobody's
Ever
swimming
been
in
that
30
deep
foot
in the
water.
ocean where like you could look up and you're kicking your legs?
Exactly. No way.
No.
There's
and
no
they're
reason to
And they're
tread
all
water
there.
at the beach.
Right. And they're all out there. Everybody is swimming that deep. It's like, no, please stop.
I don't think so.
Here's my last qualm I have. And again, no complaints. Okay, so Ben Gardner is the guy, the fisherman. They show him earlier. He's the guy that talks to Hooper at the dock. And he's the one they find in the boat, dead. The head that pops out.
I jumped, by the way.
Yeah.
So
I jumped.
okay, again, love the movie, but how did Ben Gardner die? He's in the boat. What?
It
Why is he
appears
dead?
that Jaws bit a hole in the hull and sunk
Okay.
it some,
Okay, I'm with you so far.
and maybe Jaws was able to access him via
He's
that way.
still there in the boat. And the boat is floating on the water. That's how they see it.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know how he dies.
Unless, I mean, yeah. Again, we could
Jaws-
argue away logic.
I know. Again, I'm nitpicking.
I'm with you.
For all we know, he
Jaws-
got his arm bit off. He fell
Maybe.
back into the boat like
Could be.
Jaws
Like
4.
Jaws 4, that's right.
And
But he finished that
died
guy
and-
off, for the record.
What?
But he did finish that guy off in Jaws 4.
Wasn't that Scheider's son?
Yeah, it was his youngest son.
Was it actually the kid?
No. Different
Wasn't
guy.
it the same actor?
Different actor. All right, so yeah, all right. I just have always been curious how Ben died, but you could be right. He maybe lost a limb. He fell back in the boat. Maybe Jaws distracted him by attacking the boat, and a bunch of crabs attacked him or something in the boat. I don't know, whatever. But
All right. So I have a non-movie Jaws related question.
Okay, hit it.
Okay.
Hit it.
What is your Jaws moment? Have you ever had like a near I have.
With
I'm
a
going to
shark?
share it, but I'm curious. Have either of you ever been where you thought I'm in the presence of a shark?
Oh, absolutely. So I'll go first.
multiple times.
For
I will
real,
go
not
first.
like
I will
I'm
go
in the
first
ocean.
because I was raised by old man Quint. That is what
were.
Doug was. So we had a 42-foot mast sailboat that we would take out, and I remember one time we went out past the jetties, and whenever we were coming in, so off past the jetties in Jacksonville, it ends up being after the rocks are gone, there's still sand, and we ended up running aground and on with the boat, and I remember having to get out in about waist, maybe like thigh deep water to push the sailboat off of the sandbar. And I remember as I'm doing this, me and Doug are in the water doing this, my grandmother yells, "Be careful, I just saw a stingray on the sandbar." At this moment, I'm thinking, there has to be a shark here. We're out past the rocks and the jetties. I'm in the middle of the friggin' ocean.
The rocks at the jetties are shark infested. by
I
the way.
know. And so once we got it, but then as you get the boat off of the sand, like, you have to swim to the boat.
Yep.
And it's only like a foot, but like that is the scariest foot of my life.
Yeah.
So there you go.
my gosh.
That's when I thought I was gonna die.
That's funny.
One of the many times. So
That's funny.
Yeah.
My probably the most vivid experience I ever had was at Sanibel Island. Phil was there, and we had some.
We
friends
had
of
rafts
ours.
like Andrews.
We went really
We're the
far
exact
out.
same rafts.
They were really far out, and I got out. I was the oldest one, and I got out and was swimming and pulling the raft with those guys on it at one point for quite a while. And I thought to myself, why am I doing this? I am going to die. I'm going to be Alex from Jaws. I'm gonna get eaten, and these three jokers are gonna float in on a raft and be like, "He was there a minute ago. I don't know what happened." It was pretty. It terrified me, and I was like,
"You were deep enough to actually be kicking your water,
dude. We were way out. We went out pretty dang far."
This is the difference, by the way. This is the difference of our upbringing. Any of us, not just us, Donnie and I, but all of us. And now, I wouldn't let any of my kids go out past their waist without me standing there with them.
Oh, no.
Can you imagine me like, yeah, take that raft and just head on out. We'll see you guys. Hope you make it back.
They may not have even been outside when we were doing that.
They may not have known we were in the water.
Oh, man, the good old days. All right, Phil, what about you?
I was surfing at the jetties. No joke. And for those of you who don't live in Jacksonville, the jetties is a beach. And so I was out there, and I was always told, you know that there's sharks in the water when the feeder fish are jumping. And I was like, well, I didn't really know what that meant. And you see fish kind of jump sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
You ever notice just little fish kind of jumping here and there?
Yeah.
I was out deep enough to be treading water because you're surfing and you're going to be way out there.
Yeah.
And I'm laying on my board, and I kid you not, if there was one, there was 1,000 little bitty, like 6 to 8 inch, 12-inch fish jump straight out of the water all around me.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, this is it. This is it. There is a shark in the water right here. And I'm like, my buddy was with me, and I go, shark! Go! And I just started screaming. He doesn't know what I'm screaming.
Go, man, go!
No idea what I'm screaming. He just sees me paddling fast and yelling things.
You made a classic blunder, though, Phil. You made the classic blunder of I don't have to outrun the bear. I only have to outrun you.
That's right.
Yeah. Well,
you shouldn't have yelled to your friend. You should have just been like taken off.
You should have been like, I'm going to go ahead and go in. You catch the next one. I'm going to go ahead and go in.
But
I saw some swell out there. You should go catch it.
That is literally, I'm not even joking. I'm not even being hyperbolic. That's probably the most real scared I've ever been.
Oh, man.
Oh, I believe that.
That's scary.
Like, I've been scared, but that was like, this is it. Like, this is really it.
It's funny because I just watched a guy, you might have seen it last week. He was in a surfing tournament, and he got attacked by a shark. They showed it, the video. The shark head comes out of the water and grabs onto his board. Thankfully,
I think I've seen that video.
He pushes the board and he starts swimming.
Oh,
Thankfully, they had rescue boats and they came and grabbed him out of the water. But it was pretty.
So I'll give you an honorable mention. In 2000, we took a mission trip to Brazil. Donnie was there, and we went to I forget the beach, but we went to a beach where there was what they called tidal pools, and basically what happens when the tide goes out, these holes along the beach get like water gets trapped in, and most of them are like
Linsoin.
Yeah, Linsoins. Yeah, so most of them were like ankle deep or like knee deep, and it's really cool because you can kind of snorkel and see all kind of cool like tropical fish and stuff. Yeah. And there was one that was giant. It was so deep that it was you couldn't even see to the bottom of it. And so we were like swimming and having a good time. And I just remember coming out like one time and Phil Harris, the missionary, looking at it, he's like, yeah, these are really cool because sometimes they'll get sharks caught in there. And I'm like, what is the matter with you? I've been swimming in there. And so, not really scared, but I'll just say that I didn't go back in that pool the entire time that we were there. So, we're gonna wrap up in a second, but we're gonna introduce something a little new. Just for fun, when we were getting ready for the show, I love Jaws. I honestly don't think I can't even fathom how a person would not like Jaws. I went to Rotten Tomatoes. On Rotten Tomatoes, it's at like a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. There are 2 bad reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, which blew my mind. But we actually pull a lot of our information from IMDb. So on IMDb, people can rate movies. And so I thought what would be fun is to pull out a couple of 1-star reviews of what I would consider one of the best films of all time. And so for your listening enjoyment, Phil is going to read us some 1-star reviews of Jaws. Go ahead, Phil.
I'm gonna introduce. First of all, I got 3 of them. One is from Brat Simpson 16. Brat Simpson,
man.
In February of 2007. The title of his post was Top 50. What the? And he wrote these words. No, I'm not crazy. Jaws shouldn't be on the top 250 list because it is just about as good as a rotten fish sandwich! Exclamation point. Jaws
Clever.
bites you.
So clever.
Jaws bites you in the butt with the jaws of boredom, not the jaws of life.
What do you mean?
Just listen. You gotta let me get through this. For one thing, it's not scary, which we all concede. It's just really gross, like with all the blood in the water. And that bloody corpse underwater? This film has too much blood to be rated PG today. It would be a PG-13 or even R today. Another thing that makes this film crappy is that it is completely unimaginative, served with a side of boredom. If you still want a will to stay in the water, avoid at all costs.
Now I will say, of all the parts of the
That's a
review,
good
that is
line.
true.
It's well written, Brat Simpson. He says, "Trust me, you have better things to do than watching people get murdered by a stinky cheese shark." I don't know what that means.
I don't either. I don't have a clue what that means.
I don't even know why so many people like it. Trust me, it's totally not worth it.
That kid's probably like 5 that wrote that. It's so bad.
Well,
I love that he
he's at
calls the
least
shark a
16 by now.
stinky cheese shark.
A stinky cheese shark.
That's hilarious.
Maybe he meant cheesy, like he didn't know how to say cheesy.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. He also used the word T-O instead of T-O-O. He used the wrong homonym.
Way to go.
This next one is called "Please Don't Let Your Kids See This Movie." It's written by Ertibsheesh113. Also in the February of 2007. So I don't know what was going on in February of 07.
It's a weird time.
But Jaws was getting some hate. And then he says, "Listen, no one should see any horror movies ever, because when it comes down to it, they just breed fear or perpetuate fear inside of us all caps, ALL. Get off your high horse. Get off your high horse. Us all. That being said, if you choose to subject yourself to such destructive media, at least have sense enough to protect innocent, and do not let any child watch Jaws or other horror films." This guy's just on like a rampage.
Yeah, he is, man.
He goes on to say, "I speak from experience when I say these words." And we're getting to the heart of it. Okay? Chris wrote this.
This is Chris, isn't it?
Then I wish we had piano music. At the tender age of 10
could do
years
that.
old, my dear mother allowed my sister and I to eat spaghetti, of all foods, on TV trays as we ignorantly watched Jaws, mesmerized by the suspense and gore, only to our demise as potential ocean lovers.
Potential.
May not have been.
There was an ocean lover inside of me at one point. My mother
You
took
murdered
it away and ruined it.
I'm 31 years old now, and I'm still working hard to get rid of my sharkophobia, or whatever the psychological term is. Have some common sense, parents. 3 exclamations.
I love this. This person just had a mental breakdown on IMDb. It's fantastic.
That is.
They were like,
and
oh,
it
high
definitely
horsey
would be
and
me,
causey,
by the way.
And then got serious. And then lastly, we're gonna worst movie ever.
Wow. That's not trolling at all.
Worst movie ever.
Worst
the
movie
worst
ever.
movie ever.
By far. Yeah.
This is what they wrote. Roger VB7624 in May of 03 wrote, "Worst story, paper thin plot, worst effects, worst music."
Come on. John Williams,
John
get out.
Williams is a genius, by the way. This movie,
guy-
with 2 notes, this guy scarred generations of
Yeah, he
people,
did.
man.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. And worst effects
1975,
I think
yeah,
it's
worst
for
effects.
1975. Worst effects. The fake shark looked real. He says, "I can't understand why more than 25% of the votes on this movie votes a 10. Few options, he says. They are all liars. Or don't know anything about quality motion pictures.
Why would they be liars? Like, is there like a contingency that's like, we got to get Jaws into the top 250? We're all gonna lie about this movie.
They're all liars.
25% give it a perfect 10, but they're either all liars or they don't know anything about quality motion
all
pictures.
Dummies, yeah.
I love the extremity of people on the internet.
I know.
The middle ground.
There's no
You're
middle
either
ground.
the worst kind of a liar, or you don't know anything.
Hey, can I throw out a quick question and one thing I want to point out, Chris?
Yeah, let's do it.
Number one, as an alert that I want to point out, there's a kid's kiss in this movie. Brody kisses his son.
Oh, I know he does. No, I know it's
Yes, he
disgusting.
does.
Oh, no, it's disgusting.
I just wanted to point that out.
No, we saw
I
it.
like that scene, by the way, where the kid's copying the dad.
That is,
It's
yeah,
a great
that
scene.
is
It's a great scene.
Until he
And
kisses.
number two, again, nitpicking. Why do they keep the tiger shark overnight? Why don't they just throw him in the ocean that day? I know it's to set up the scene where we get all the
I
stuff.
don't
they
think
might
you'd
have been
throw him in
planning
the ocean.
They might have been planning to stuff it.
Yeah.
No. The mayor says, take it tomorrow and throw it out in the drink. That's what he says.
Yeah,
And so
but
they
yeah,
store
but
it
I
overnight.
don't think anybody really listens to the mayor. I think that they're going to try to sell that thing.
Brody listened to the mayor. He opened the beach.
Yeah, but Brody's a tool.
Were
he-
either of
we
you
just said he was
grossed out
great.
by Hooper's just willingness to get all in the fluids that came out of
It
that
bothered me because he was
that
in his
juice.
jeans. He was just in the jeans that he was wearing. He didn't wear like any
He was.
coveralls. He didn't put like
He
on some
needed
fancy
Brody's
clothes.
rubbers, man. He didn't put them on.
No.
Yeah,
no,
clear juice just spills out everywhere.
No.
And he's just right in it. He's like, oh yeah, let's get in there.
No.
I think that's. I got two quick things. I love when the Brody and Hooper are yelling at the mayor in front of the billboard. That's a great scene. When they're arguing with him about open the beach.
Look at that sign.
Oh,
Those
yeah,
proportions
that's
are
right.
accurate.
Yeah, they're like full on yelling at the guy. and he's
Another
just
great
throwing them
prank.
off.
Another great prank, by the way. Our current culture is devoid of quality pranks. We're a bunch of pansies, wussified people who can't take a prank.
Did you see the
And-
prank that barber pulled today that pretended
Yeah.
he cut the kid's ear off?
That was
And-
great. That kid's
is
like, is that my ear?
The kid pranked him, and so he pretended to cut the kid's ear off. He had all this blood running down his face, and he's like, "Oh man." I have one more thing. No,
But
no.
another, but again, an example of our wussified culture. He had to get the parents' permission.
Oh, I didn't watch the whole thing. So,
Yeah.
did you guys notice little bits of Quint in the shark teeth at the end? When he comes in, there's little goo and intestines hanging off of his teeth.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed the stuff. I mean, I guess I didn't really put
it's-
two and two together, but yeah, I guess it is.
It's Quint, man. He needs a toothpick. All right. And then, oh man, dang it! I got one question. Why? And this is a real question. Why does Brody say no whistles? Remember when he blows the whistle? The guy
Because
Because he
It's
didn't want
like
to panic. Yeah, he didn't want to panic.
Well, but I thought they were already. I mean, they had all the boats out there, and I mean, it was already seemed obvious that they were on full alert.
Yeah, I
And
just
they
feel
thought
like
the shark. They saw a fin. I mean,
Well,
why
because
would-
maybe when you've got that much panic, it's hard to track what's going on.
yeah.
Man, it's not like any of those people are gonna run out of the water or anything because they're all like 50 feet out. They're all like 30 feet deep in the water. It's they need warning. They're gonna take forever to get out of that water. So
I have a graphic design question. Did any of you take note of the way they drew the shark's teeth on the cover of the box? They're real, just long and narrow. It's strange.
oh yeah, it's pretty wild.
Oh, they're not great
So-
white
to
teeth,
make it
yeah.
scarier.
Yeah.
All right, last question I have: did Brody get the $10,000 reward?
No, absolutely not.
Why
way.
not?
Because the
he
deal,
killed the shark.
the deal was with Quint. No, that didn't work like that. He just got to
Brody
go back
should
and
have
be
got
the
the
sheriff.
$3,000.
Yeah, he should have got that. There you
No,
go.
that's true. That was the original offer.
Yeah.
I'm confused by their. I know we're going back in time here, and I apologize. We can,
No.
I'm
Just go
mildly
with it.
confused by the interaction he has with the widow, with the lady. Is she mad at him?
Yeah.
Yes.
No. Let me finish my question. She's obviously mad at him, but is she also expressing some forgiveness? What's happening here?
I don't
No,
think that at all.
no.
Pure-
I think
pure
it's
bitterness.
all cold.
She is.
You killed my son.
full-on blaming him.
She is.
You're the sheriff. You should have stood up to the mayor.
Yeah. You knew what was
you're to
up.
blame. You killed my son, so it's all your fault.
Okay.
I think
Absolutely.
she gets to the point where she's just at a loss for words. Like, I can't even tell you how disgusted I am with you anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
I just feel like she probably feels like they're either all liars or they don't know how to run a town.
Probably thinks both.
That's
Probably thinks both.
throwback to Roger VB7624's review of the movie.
All right, let's do this right, and let's review it the way that we review things here. I was listening back to
Hey,
last.
Chris, real quick before you rate it, at 5 minutes and 30 seconds in the movie, there's a house in the background that looks exactly like Tow Mater from Cars.
There's
Check
a
it out.
house. Okay.
5 minutes and 30 seconds through the window, the house behind them. I'm telling you, it looks like Tow Mater. No joke.
All right.
Well, let's rate it. Let's do it. I'm
So
ready.
I was listening back to the last episode we did, which was about Sandlot, and you kind of gave us a hard time about rating movies. Like, our rating scale
Yeah, I
has
did.
always been like absolutely nothing. But
I felt like you guys were conspiring against me. Like you guys had talked ahead of time and said, "Hey,
No.
we're gonna do so much out of so much."
no,
And
I've
it
done
really- I
I've done
felt
so much out of so
betrayed.
much before, but
felt like it was coming out of the blue, man. So
you can literally rate the movie any way you would like. So,
I will.
so you won't get lambasted this time by our conniving plotting behind your back. Donnie, you can go first. Tell us what rating you would give Jaws.
the classic Jaws in my book, I am writing down 14 chum buckets. 14 chum buckets.
14.
I always find myself when Brody's chumming, I always find myself looking in the water because you know the shark is coming,
Yeah.
and I always want to like see it underwater, like before it pops up. Like
Yeah.
I always am looking for that little sign that he's coming.
Yeah, that man. I tell you what, that one scene when he does when he's coming into the pond and they do
that's
show that scene where he's
fantastic.
underwater, but you see him kind of
yeah.
on the side. Oh my gosh, that
And the
seems
guy just
terrifying.
slips under.
Terrifying.
I want to know how they shot that stuff underwater with the shark. The shark was on like tracks.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's really cool. That's
great. It's great.
Anyway,
It's great.
14
Have you
chum
guys
buckets.
ever seen images of the shark?
Oh yeah.
The prop?
Yeah, I
Bruce, out of
love.
water.
There's a
Bruce.
super popular picture with Steven Spielberg sitting in the mouth of the shark, like just like propped up in water, and it's a
Right.
it's a great shot.
They called him Bruce. It was his
Bruce,
nickname. He
yeah.
named him after his lawyer.
Yep.
That's what he called him.
All right, Phil. What about you? What would you rate Jaws?
Well, it's hard because there weren't any in the movie, but I imagine at some point there must have been. So I'm going to go with 2 severed thumbs up.
There were a lot of severed parts.
There's a lot of things being
don't think
cut
there
off.
was any-
There has to have been
Pause.
some thumbs.
It could have been 2 severed paws up.
Like it could have at that point it could have been
Pip it.
4, but
Pip it.
but yeah.
That's true.
So I would give this a perfect 50 state license plates.
Yes,
and
excellent.
this
Just as I thought.
this
Got it in the Gulf Stream came up.
I honestly think this is probably in my top 3 movies of all time. I love this movie. I watched
Agreed.
it. I think it's a masterpiece. I think it's near flawless. It's brilliant.
I don't know how Robert Shaw didn't get nominated for some kind of an Oscar for this movie.
I don't know how he doesn't get nominated every year because I watch it every year and every year he's amazing. So
Well, he's been dead for a long time.
well, that's all right. He should,
That
he should be
I will
corrected.
say that monologue about the Indianapolis is
It's tremendous
it's
the way
chilling,
he plays
man.
it, dude. No, I mean, like you buy it. Like you buy that dude was there. It's good. It's so good.
He's so good. He's great.
Jaws in my top
What's
10
funny
for
is-
sure. 5 maybe, probably 5. It's great.
that story of the USS Indianapolis was sort of reintroduced into the lore of our culture. Like it wasn't a common story till there was a book written about it about 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And like when all the World War II, a lot of World War II stuff sort of really became.
Well, the vets start dying off, and everybody starts wanting to rehash all the big
Well, and
events.
Ambrose did, Stephen Ambrose did
Yeah.
Band of Brothers and all that stuff. Just really sort of like brought all that stuff back into the cultural,
Yeah.
stream. in that story of USS Indianapolis, he tells he tells it as true as anyone. Like it's just hiding right there in a piece of pop culture cinema.
Yeah.
I love the way he ends it. He goes, "Anyway, we delivered the bomb." That's how it ends the story.
And that's how a soldier would say it too, man. You know, I mean, after going through it, they actually made a movie, the USS Indianapolis, starring Nicolas Cage.
Yes, they did.
So and we will not ever be reviewing that on our show. I'm super excited. A week from right now, The Meg is going to be in theaters, and I will be in my seat. I cannot wait. And my love for that movie and all things related to Shark come back to this amazing masterpiece of a film. So I absolutely love it. That is our.
Are they doing another Deep Blue Sea?
They are, but I think it's direct to like DVD or something.
It was direct to video. It's already out.
Yeah, it's garbage.
Really?
Yeah, it's already out.
Yeah. That's our show, man. This is episode 11, the one about Jaws. We are super glad that you joined us. Hopefully you enjoyed it. We would love to hear your feedback on, what you liked about Jaws, what you didn't, what you thought about the show. Let us know how you would rate the movie.
Glow.
Yeah, how you like Donnie's new natural glow, which
his wife was dabbing makeup on him.
Yeah, that was very cute too.
You have no idea how close I was to having her do that for you guys. But
as always, you can subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, SoundCloud, anywhere you get your podcasts. We are there. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com, and you can like our page on Facebook at facebook.com/realamigos. We also have a private Facebook group that we really ask that if you like the show and want to be involved, that is the place to do that. We're up over 50 members now, and everybody kind of contributes. And we have people. We were just talking about it before the show. We have a guy on the in the group that does a PlayStation podcast, and he promotes his stuff on there, and we ask questions about movies, and we're just talking about the awful Venom trailer that just dropped, and so just a lot of that stuff happens. If you want to be part of that conversation, just look up groups on Facebook. We are Real Amigos. You do have to ask to be part of the group, but we will accept you just as you are. And so we appreciate you guys for sticking around and hanging out. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we will see you next week. For Donnie and for Phil, my name is Chris. We're out of here. Bye.
That's some bad hat, Harry. Adios.